On Call Podcast. Your home for sports, news, pop culture, tech, and the obscure. And of course, your host, Michael Myers.
Been drinking Kool-Aid jammers like I did when I was 9. Cause I like to pretend that I haven't lost the time. In the end, the nostalgia, though it tastes fine, I can only drink a couple cause it feels like a lie. We play Halo and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began to rise. We would go to school but not learn too much cause it's hard to read when you've got...
Hey, how are we doing? I'm your host, Michael Meyer. This is the On Call Podcast. Coming at you a little bit differently today. I decided I wanted to try out the wireless mic. And I'm doing it standing. Figure it's good for the motion, body, ideas, flow. As you can see, we're back to streaming because my internet got fixed last week. Love it. And because I'm walking around, I figure I would rock the Yeezys today. Honestly, God, one of the most comfortable pair of shoes I've ever worn. Huge fan. I've always wanted to do a stand-up and address podcast because it seems the most fun. I would prefer to have Lowell here, but you know how he is. Ladies love Lowell. LB. Pie eating, some bitch he is. He brags what he does. Good for him. Now, I'm going to keep this bad boy unlocked. T-Money's texting me now. You know who you are, Pops. Anyway, it's been an eventful few days. If you watched the last episode, you see that I was ready to keep going on the show. Lowell, he was out at 47 minutes. We'll see how quickly I burn through my topics. Got a ton. I realize how fat I look on camera because you guys really know me as a talking head, more or less. But today, you guys get to see me as a human being. Let me pop out the chat here in case anybody hops on. Move that over there. Now, that scene for anybody. Tons of news going on in the world. It was a huge day if you are an investor in Gamestop. I am. You see me, I tweeted at 12:05 this afternoon. At 12:10 this afternoon, the floor fell out. Fucking down. I think the share price went down $125, which, honestly, I can bring it up. So at 12:05, my tweet. It's been a wild ride. At 12:10, stock price for GameStop, $344. By 12:40, $198. I don't have the stock that say DFV, as he goes by, deep fucking value. I don't touch his value because I think since the start of everything, he's probably made 20 plus, I think it was $20.1 million. And because he also has short stocks, he's also, come April, going to make like another $20 plus million on shorts alone because he took their options. And they were absurdly low. I think one of them was at $16 and the other was at $40. As it sits now, the stock is at $257. So he's going to be a 40 millionaire. Good for him. So, I don't know what you guys are drinking tonight. Liquid Death. And Leinenkugel Summer Shandy. Because once springtime hits, Summer Shandy is available. And the Wisconsinite that I am, big fan. And then I have a sugar-free Red Bull with probably half a shot of vodka. In the world today, crazy shit. You guys can't hear it, but in the background here, I am also playing like SportsCenter's top 100 highlights from 2020. No volume. You don't need volume for highlights. Every person who's ever wanted to be a big video gamer, when they were at home, their dream was to have two TVs, one playing sports, one playing video games. Or at least where I grew up, that's what the goal was. And my dad bought me this weird little monitor that sat on top of my Xbox. Let's see. I'll text T-Money right now. So I don't even know. He started his new job. He was supposed to start last Monday. Shit fell through. He just started it this past Monday. Today is Wednesday. Also, as you guys see, lazy gringo hat. That's a beautiful fucking hat. Super comfortable. You guys don't know. I recorded an episode with not this past weekend before, when the internet went down. Well, it also reset my IP address and everything. So it reset everything that I had on my OBS. It messed up everything so much on OBS, I had to delete everything. And when I deleted it and uploaded it again, I went to go live with them and record with them. All my sound settings changed. So I had an hour-long interview of just me talking. No one wants to hear that. To watch those two cool guys. Watch their mouths move and not hear anything. T-Money, you can chat. Let's see, you can live chat. So if he says something, I'll see it, and I can even show you guys. Maybe? Oh, no, I can't show them. Before I get too looped in, I'm going to play a song from Monster Cat, because I'm just a huge Monster Cat mark. And if you guys remember, a few months ago, me and Lowell interviewed Sebastian, who's a EMT firefighter, and he's Pocket Grooves on Instagram. You guys should check him out. Dude's got some banger beats. So I think we're going to do a little collaboration on some stuff I'd like to have for music, and maybe upload them to YouTube and Spotify. People can use them when they stream, things like that. It's fun to try to talk about technology to people that don't quite get it yet. But you got to give Dad effort. He's always trying. Anyway, let's see here. You guys are still seeing me. Let's do that. And maybe a tune if you guys can hear it. All right, be right back.
Sacrifice you and I will stand and
Right. I am back from outer space. So, yep. Lowell is not with me today. He said he was busy. He said maybe after 10. Well, 10:45. Here we sit. Such is life. And the life in the fast lane of a young, good-looking guy in a major metropolis who likes thick bitches. Anyway, speaking of Lowell, congratulations, my friend. He just told me at like 8:30 that he got himself a promotion. He's like leading a whole team, like a development thing for all of sound production throughout his whole area in the podcast community. We've talked about where he works, but I don't really want to talk too much about where he works because you just never know who's going to listen one day. Get his ass in trouble. And T-Money decided to join in the chat. He's here. I can see his chats popping up on there. And for those others who are aware, I've decided to get into the camera game. The good camera we got here, keeping track of lenses. I'm pretty excited. I ordered a new lens with a much better aperture, so we can blur the background a little bit better. It's crazy. I did not realize how expensive camera lenses were until you look to buy one. It was like, oh, I like the stats on that one, and then, bam, $1,200 lens. So I'm not buying any of those. The nicest lens I currently have is a kit lens that came with that camera that's filming me now. I want a better aperture. I like the bokeh effect. That's what they talk about. So that's the biggest thing. All right. Anyway, to actual stories. I talked about GameStop and how much money I lost in no time. So I was pretty scared. But for those who do follow that in GameStop, the stock, even though there was actually 6 halts, which is like apparently an unprecedented thing. 6 halts from 12.10 to 1:15 that they ceased all purchases of the stock. I knew something was up because as I was checking the apps and everything, the diversity of the people who bought stocks decreased incredibly, which is not something that typically happens that fast. It went from like 99% diversity to like 45%. So something was up, and that's when I saw they were posting stuff later on that there was hinky shit. Government loves to control everything that we do, and they talk about the free market until the little man beats the big man in the game every now and again. You're right, T-Money. You can spend a lot. That's why I didn't tell Nicole, but I did buy a lens because it was 50% off, and it looks to be really good. It's not a Sony brand. It's Samyang or Rokinon. So it's an 85 millimeter. That's a 35 millimeter. But the big thing you spend money on is the aperture. So that camera lens that I'm talking to you guys on has an aperture of 4, which means it doesn't really have a whole lot of ability to distinguish the background to the foreground. Well, the lens that I ordered that'll be here like Friday or Saturday has an aperture of 1.5, which is really damn good. It's like a cinematic lens to be able to control. But it's not a telephoto lens. I'm excited for it. You guys are going to see it here real soon. And where was it? Oh, in NFL news. So I know I'm with Lowell most of the time, but I threw out a question on Twitter. I wanted to interview a fan of every team with the draft coming up. I want to interview one player or interview one fan to find out what they're hoping for in the upcoming draft, what they think their team's outlook's going to be. So far, I have a Jags fan lineup, Dolphins fan, a Bears writer, a Bears fan, a Tampa fan, and a Washington football team fan. So it's going to be pretty cool. There's so many storylines right now, from J.J. Watt leaving the Texans, going to signing with the Cardinals, which they're going to be a team to look out for, I think. Their defense has been putrid, but then you give someone that's going to help with the rush. Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt in the front four. Another year of Kyler Murray getting better. Quickest feet probably for any quarterback. I think his feet are probably quicker than Lamar Jackson's. Lamar's pure speed faster, but he's got that giddy up. So, in the NFL, if you're not a Cowboys fan, I don't blame you, because I'm not a huge fan either. Look at my new wiffle ball bat. Can't wait to play with this with the boy. Dak Prescott. He signed himself to a fucking deal. He is 4 years, $160 million, and $75 million of it comes this year for him. Oh. Now I'm thinking, if you're someone like Aaron Rodgers, you should be pissed off, because Dak Prescott is no Aaron Rodgers. And he never will be, I don't think. And he had that gruesome ass, leg look like it was hanging on by its skin only. I'm not sure Dak will be ever who he was. Blue mood light. Well, thing we can always do about that, turn off the mood lights. Turn on regular light. It's probably an autofocus thing. Who knows? We can fix this zoom. Bam. Make sure I'm on there. Anyway. Aaron Rodgers. There's so many teams in salary cap hell right now. Even my Bears. I don't know what they are going to do. Russell Wilson said he wants to go there. But I think they're like $20 million over the salary cap. And they did Allen Robinson. They locked him in, and he doesn't even want it. He didn't want the franchise tag, but he got it anyway. Sucks for him. He's got to play on it, or just not get paid for the year. I'm thinking the Bears, as much as I would love them to get Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, I don't see it happening. I don't know what they're going to do. It looks rough to be a Bear fan right now. The Lions, they're just cutting everybody. They let Kenny Galladay go yesterday. I don't even know who they fucking have as a wide receiver other than Marvin Jones III. Vikings, they're probably going to be decently bad. Kirk Cousins accurate. He just sucks in primetime. Dalvin Cook is a beast. I think it's the Packers division to lose. NFC East, I think the Cowboys are going to be mediocre for the foreseeable future. 43% of their salary cap is now locked up into Zeke, Amari Cooper, and Dak Prescott. As much as it's good to have playmakers, that's probably not the way to do it. You can't pay top 5 money for players that aren't top 5 players in their position. Zeke is probably a top 5 running back. Amari's not a top 5 running back or wide receiver. And Dak isn't a top 5 wide receiver. And he never will be. Washington, they don't have a quarterback. They signed that nobody that played real well against the Buccaneers in the divisional round. Whatever his name is, I forget it already. But he looked good. Who else is in there? NFC South. The Saints They don't even know who their quarterback's going to fucking be. Drew Brees has been talking like he was going to retire immediately. Well, now it doesn't look like it. And they got the fucking mayor sending out videos for trying to recruit Russell Wilson and his wife, Sierra, down there. Whew. All right, enough of that. You guys don't want to hear about that. Really. But there it is. Dak Prescott agrees to 4-year, $160 million. Man, he played Jerry Jones for anything, for all he was worth. Because Dak is not that guy, I don't think. It's weird how these accountants can sway how money is spent where, because how can he make $75 million this year but only count for like $32 million towards the salary cap between guaranteed monies and incentivizing? It's just crazy that he doesn't affect the cap for what he's not getting paid what his cap hit is worth and everything. Dak Prescott, I don't like you a whole lot. You're accurate. Because think, they haven't won a Super Bowl since Troy Aikman. It took them 5 years after Troy Aikman to get Tony Romo. And man, in that meantime, they had Drew Henson. John Kitna made starts. Drew Bledsoe. Quincy Carter. I mean, Dallas has suffered in mediocrity the same way my Bears have. The Bears are almost the epitome of mediocrity. Since the start of the year 2000, the Bears are, I think it was, 167 and 171. Mediocre, to say the least. 3 guys do not a team make. That is correct. Team money. What do you think of this bat? I'm going to be teaching Jackson left and righty how to bat. Because as you guys can tell, this is just stagnant muscle. This is just, I'm a natural athlete. But I can bat switch. Anyway, moving on. It looks like the salary cap actually went down in the NFL this year, I think by a few $1 million. Sucks for teams close. Congrats to the Steelers for being able to restructure with Ben Roethlisberger so they can suck and not move on the same way the Saints probably won't. The Saints don't know who the QB is going to be between Drew Brees, Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston. That's a rough situation they have too. How many cuts have been in the NFL today? This week, there's been a shit ton this week. Long snappers, kickers, punters have just been like cut the fuck out. Riley Reef, that was today. Kyle Van Noy was a couple of days ago, but that was official today. I can put that on for you guys to see. Zietler from the Giants. Vaccaro from the Titans. John Brown. I mean, if it weren't for injuries, John Brown, that guy is a bullet. I think if he can get with the right quarterback, even like the Packers or something, as much as I hate the fucking Packers, he's a playmaking wide receiver that I think could make a pretty good difference. And I'd be happy for him for that. Because it was good to watch him in Buffalo to play well while it was a thing. There it is. The cap for this season, $182.5 million. Sounds like a lot, but it was 190, I think, last year. They anticipated it to go up to 195 or 200 even. Based on the new TV deals, it's projected in the next 5 years, the NFL salary cap will be $250 million. I'm all for these players getting paid because Lord knows these owners, they're making fucking billions. So what's another couple $1 million for a player? That's right, 30 for 30, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. The only member in NFL history of the 30-30 club, Mr. Jameis Winston. Yeah, Super Bowl 96, back in the Aikman days. Let's see here. You go. Quan Alexander has the Saints. Although $13 million in the saving that in the cap, that's a pretty big deal for them. Saints releasing Emmanuel Sanders. He's going to find a home. He plays. He's a hustle player, man. He's going to go somewhere because he deserves to go somewhere. He plays hard. Great route runner. And then what I heard this one, I heard it today, but I found out it was yesterday that he announced it. Kyle Long, former Chicago Bear. Yeah, good for you, Kyle Long. Good for you. He did say he apologized for the way everything got handled, and he has nothing but good things to say about the coach of the Bears, Mr. Nagy. He said he wished it would have ended on better terms. I mean, it's good to want things, but it ended shitty. I would have taken him back because the Bears released their left tackle, Bobby Massey, already. Lord knows we could have used the fucking offensive line help. Heard about that too. Trent Brown to the Patriots. Trent Brown, the great tackle. The Patriots decided they weren't going to pay. Let the Raiders overpay for him, and now we're going to probably take him at a discount because the Patriots have like $60 million in cap space. The Browns, nobody cares. Probably going to go to the playoffs again. You know what? No. Here's my prediction. Mark the tape, 11:02 p.m., March 10th. The Browns won't make the playoffs. They haven't made the playoffs in back-to-back years. I think since like 84, back in the Bernie Kosar days. Not happen. The Raiders released LaMarcus Joyner. You know what? He was already overpaid. He couldn't fucking guard anybody. T-Money thinks the Bradys, the Tampa Bradys are going to win it again. Well, what do you think, Pops? Do you think Gronk stays with the Patriots? Or do you think because he's a free agent for essentially the first time in his career that he's going to go to get paid? I don't know, because they thought J.J. Watt was going to go ring chasing. Turns out he was going to go get paid. I don't know. You know, Dad, since you're listening to this right now, how does the audio sound on a wireless microphone? Let me know if it sounds too broken up or shitty. It was a fairly priced microphone and wireless setup. Right here, it goes into into my board. You're right. Yeah, Gronk in Tampa. I think he stays. He got out of retirement for old Tom. I don't see any reason why he would leave Tom now. I think he plays for a hometown discount because that motherfucker likes to win. He likes to party. And if they're in Tampa, that's like the home of great strip clubs. With Mons Venus. What's the other one? There's a couple of like 5 stars that are like kitty corner to each other. Oh, shit. So Carlos Dunlap. And there's the Bobby Massey. That's a couple of days old. Richie Incognito, overpriced to begin with. Let me keep it inside here. I'll keep them close together. Bam. Okay. Chargers release Trey Turner. That's enough of that. Let me go back to the main screen here. Now, sports are crazy. You know, people. Sports, they're your heroes. You're right. It could be the turning away thing. Athletes are your heroes growing up. And you know, one athlete I was always a huge fan of growing up, closer to adulthood, old Johnny Damon with the Bo Sox. Long hair, don't care, speedy little shitty arm, above average fielder, decent contact, low average. A left-handed hitter in Boston. They thrive there. Well, they released his. Yes, it is clipped on my shirt. It's right there. They released his DUI video, and I watched the Johnny Damon DUI video. Woo! It's a pretty good video. So, read it and wait. Let's see.
What you had to drink tonight?
A little bit.
Just a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. So,
Yeah.
a couple reasons I'm stopping you. One, while I've been behind you, you've left your lane multiple times. Just stay there. Okay, while I've been behind you, you've left your lane multiple times, and you actually struck the curb at one point on Main Street. And then the stop sign back there, you stopped all the way past the stop bar, the white light on the ground, you have to stop behind it. Hey, shut your door. Stay in the car. Stay in the car.
Right.
Stay there. Hey, stay there. Sir. Sir. Stay back over there. Listen to me. Step over there.
Okay,
Stay in the car.
Okay, all I'm saying
Stay
is,
in the car.
all I'm saying is,
Stay in the. Get back in the car.
are you
go
kidding
in
me
the
right
car.
Stay back there. Hey,
I'm telling
Hey.
her to go in the
go.
car.
Stand over here.
Hey, we are right
Stand
there.
over here.
We are right there.
Get back in the car.
All right, it's
Get
fine.
back in-
I'm going to talk
Get
to
back
the,
in the car.
All right, don't touch me.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
Let
don't
go. Let
fucking
go.
touch me. Don't touch me.
Let go.
Don't touch me.
No, hey, stop. Stop.
Fighting 1-2, actually.
Hey, we are at
Stop.
home
Turn
right
around.
now.
Turn around. Turn around.
We
Turn
are,
around.
we are,
Turn around.
okay, we are at home right now. I don't know what you are doing.
Face the car.
Okay.
I'm safe.
Get down on the ground right now.
Hey, babe, walk home. Walk
Hey, secure her right now.
No,
Bat Leo.
hey, babe, walk
Battery
home.
Leo.
Yeah, babe, walk home. Babe, walk home.
Hey.
What are you doing right
Hey.
now? Yeah, what
Face the car. Face the car.
Hey, I'm not,
Face the car.
I am not doing anything with
Stop
that.
trying to pull away from me.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You keep walking away.
Hey,
Keep your hands behind your back.
believe me, I am Blue Lives Matter.
No, this is
Blue Lives
bullshit.
Matter.
Like, look at our license.
Hey, oh, what are you doing right now?
What a dumbass. So, he was overly friendly, but now this is where I would agree with the cop because you don't know. He might not even recognize Johnny Damon, but you can damn sure believe he doesn't know who that wife is. And if you don't know who the wife is, you can't assume that she has good intentions. So he was kind of an asshole, I agree. But you don't know. Drunk people make stupid decisions all the time. Drunk people kill people. My camera's spazzing out again. For some reason, I'm going to have to turn off that autofocus, I think. I'm not digging that. All right. Johnny Damon, done, covered. Also, that new camera lens that I have is not, it has autofocus, but I can flip it off whenever I want. Don't tell Nicole. Although it wasn't expensive because it's an odd it's 85 millimeter, which is it's a common lens length, but it's like in between favorites, between like 100 millimeter, 30 millimeter, and 50 millimeter. 50 is the best portrait. 35 is the best overall. So I saved a great deal by going off eBay and getting a name. It was their first attempt at an autofocus that I can flip to manual. So it's the autofocus. I can't turn it off. See, that's another reason I needed a new lens. That's what I'm saying, Pops. It's a pretty decent deal. White privilege. Oh, you know what? Here's a fun little story for y'all. For those who ever chase the subreddits, maybe I should move this mic just a little bit so it catches my voice a little bit. So I'll move it down a little bit. I think that might be the problem. It's under my fat ass chin. If you frequent Craigslist, you know there's some weird shit on there. So as you can see there on the screen, I want someone to chase me. It's a gig. I am seeking somebody who will let me chase them. Age and gender doesn't matter. You can be real old or a lady or black as long as you can go real fast. It doesn't matter where it happens, inside or outside, but you have to be fun to chase. You can't be on a bike because it's cheating. I want the chasing to last a long time, and I want to be sweaty, but I have to catch you in the end. If I don't catch you, you don't get paid. But you can't let me catch you and be easy about it. If you do, you won't get paid. After the chasing, you should say something to me like, good running, or you're very fast, and give me a high five. One hand high five, or both hand high five. Not because I told you to, because you think it. Afterwards, you should post a picture of me on your Facebook and make a picture caption that says, he caught me. Let me know. If that is not, that is super specific. So I'm guessing somebody has a huge desire to play tag. Tag you're at. I'll put a zoom in a little bit and fix where we're zooming here so I can see the camera a little bit still. So I'm still on. You guys don't need to see me a whole lot. I'm nothing special. But I do want it to not struggle with autofocus as much as it seems to be. It's a kit lens. It is kind of what you have to deal with. Man, fucking Sony sometimes. Of all the things they nail, this isn't one of them, it looks like. So, have you guys ever played an extreme game of tag? I have not. I don't recall the last time I ever played tag. Let me zoom that back out and fuck it. We'll just play with it as it is. I haven't played tag since long before the age of the internet, or at least the internet as we know it today. Because I'm a fucking adult, and the last thing I need is someone trying to catch me, tag me, and push me over and break my collarbone again. I don't know what you guys may be watching on TV these days. I'm a little pop culture R-worded, if you will. I try to stay up to date on things that are happening in the TV world. But I started a show that came out 3 years ago. That would be The Sinner. If you haven't watched that, you really ought to. I wouldn't call it, it's not paranormal, it's not supernatural. There's a biblical element to it, but it does not overpower the thing, other than you get to see a little bit of the child abuse that goes into being the child of an extremely religious parent. And the super devout in they have been known to abuse their children without intent. I can't say the mom, though, didn't mean to do it. War with BB guns. That's how you lose a fucking eye. That is... Whew. I didn't do that. I only played a couple times. It was, you guys don't know, but my dad does. Brandon, a couple times, it just one pump with a pellet gun, an airsoft. But The Sinner, season 1, revolves around Bill Pullman, Jessica Biel, and a guy that looks almost exactly like Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. But watch the first, say, 8 minutes of the series. Tell me if you don't have a shit ton of questions, and then you get to all watch them get answered over the next 10 episodes. I binged the entire first season yesterday. I was going to do this episode yesterday, but I was caught. I couldn't not watch. So I was up till after 2 this morning watching that fucking show. It was really good. I'm excited to start season 2. It's an anthology series, so every season has its own premise, kind of like True Detective, except Bill Pullman is in the first 3 seasons. That's all I can tell you. It is a fucking good watch. Another good show that I'm surprised doesn't get as much fanfare. It's on Netflix, but it's an NBC show. That would be Good Girls. If you watch Mad Men, Christina Hendricks, she's a bad bitch in that show. Kills it. Summer Shandy. I do love it when it gets warm, though. Let's see. There's another thing. It's March 10th. This happened last week. I was going to talk with Lowell about it, but, we ended early. Dr. Seuss and cancel culture. Well, Dr. Seuss wasn't canceled. He said in the 80s or 90s he was ashamed of a few of his books. So in honor of Dr. Seuss, his family decided to pull a few books out of print. So people can talk about cancel culture in this regard. Yes, I realize there's a lot of shitty cancel culture. This is not that. Don't die on that hill. This is his family doing it for him. What are the books? You guys are going to see them pop up on here. If I Ran the Zoo. That fucker should have been canceled. It shows this white dude, standing over 3 black people with a fucking stick ready to hit him. Gone. And to think I saw that on Mulberry Street, it has this racist white guy talking shit to a black guy at the bus stop. See ya. It's not the first time books that focus on racism got pulled away from the children's library. Racism is real, but racism is something that is taught, not inherited. If your kid's a racist, it's probably because you're a racist. A lot of times there's inherent racism that people don't realize that they're racist about, stereotypes, things like that. I realize a lot of stereotypes exist for a reason, but perpetuating that and pushing it on your kids when they haven't experienced it, let someone learn who they are, who they're going to be, without pushing your fucking political agenda on them. Sorry, that got a little political. This is supposed to be a lot more fun, but it just sucks. There's just so much shit in the world. Everything's politicized. All I'm saying, let your kid find out if he doesn't like somebody, whether hopefully they don't learn to be racist, but they become racist on their own. Well, Dad, that Christina Hendricks picture looks a little photoshopped. I happen to know, from looking this up, from when her days in Mad Men, she has a 36F bust. And she's a ginger. I've been begging Nicole for like a birthday present, Father's Day, something like that. Let me go ginger for me for a day. Sadly, because she's a bottle blonde. If she were to do that, she would probably look like a Cheeto, a Cheeto, that weird fucking orange after the fact. So she told me I can keep wishing, but I'm not going to get it. So there's a very particular red I like. Porn star red. That really bold brunette red. You guys can listen to that. Pow. That is the Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, along with my Liquid Death. I have a commercial to play for my buddy with the Geek Peak Pod. I was on with them, me and Chris. He's the showrunner, but they all have kind of shitty audio. I don't know who actually hosts the show on Zoom, who records what, so I think they might take turns. But Chris, he lives down here in Tampa. Bunch of great guys, which it's the Geek Peak Pod, and they stay very topical, very pop culture nerd shit. Love it. Wish I had the time to focus on what's going on in Marvel or the DC universe, things like that. That's why I listen to that show. It's a great show, and everyone should listen to it, along with, Dads on Dayquil. Those guys are funny. Great dad jokes. Midwest Meltdown. There's so many podcasts that I follow, and I wish I could remember them when I do shout-outs on Twitter, but I can't. But Chris sent me a promo that I'm going to play. Let's see. Promo spot. This is for him. I don't even know what's on it. I've listened to it, but this is on my phone, so I'm hoping it doesn't sound too shitty for you guys. And just give a listen. Look for it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, which most people I don't know don't even have an iPhone. Yet somehow, for podcast listeners, Apple's like 60% of all podcast downloads, or 70% in the world. So this is the Geek Peak Pod.
Hey there, I'm Chris from the Geek Peak Podcast here with my two co-hosts, Trent.
What up?
And Brandon.
Yo, yo.
Here at the Geek Peak, we strive to provide you the best content from all across the pop culture multiverse.
Think of us as your content concierge, seeking out all the best movies, TV, games, and music to save your valuable time.
We have a different adult beverage every week, and we like to keep things light and fresh, so come hang out with us.
So check us out on all your favorite podcasting platforms. That's Geek Peak.
Like a mountain!
And check out our site at geekpeakpod.com.
All right, that was it. Easy peasy, right? Not too shabby. Chris, although he doesn't advertise it, well, let me put him on blast, because the first time we ever talked was on a Zoom call, and we ended up talking for close to 4 hours. He was a poli-sci major in college, and he actually worked on a couple of campaigns locally. Dude is smart as shit. I'm not sure people realize just how smart he is, because he sounds a little bit like a stoner. He probably is. There's a reason people sound like stereotypes. But real cool dude, cool group of guys, even though I've only talked to him. But if he associates with them, I'm guessing that they're all worthy. If you're looking for a fun little movie review for old stuff, I am featured on the Lazy Gringos podcast, which when my episode was lost, we did ours, which they haven't even released yet, but it looks like they're released bi-weekly, so it should be coming here soon, I hope. Probably Friday. We discussed the Hulu exclusive Palm Springs Andy Samberg movie. That's a good fucking movie. That was their choice of 2020. If you haven't watched it, you should. Yep, Christina Hendricks. She is, woo! She's something. What was next? Oh, this blew up on social media a couple weeks ago. The mutated shark with a baby face. Turns out people are only thinking about it because of the Baby Shark song that every parent has to listen to because their kids are obsessed with it right now. Baby shark, doo 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 doo, baby shark, doo 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 doo, baby shark. This is super common. The Simpsons talked about it. They had Blinky on The Simpsons, like the early 90s. So it happens all the time. Any deficiency, switch up in DNA. Oh, so for all of my, yeah, perfect for this. Regional manager. Big Office fan. I've watched this series, shit, I can't tell you how many times. How moving The Office affected Netflix and Peacock's bottom lines. Everyone likes to think that they'd be loyal to something. Turns out, not so much. There's a graph down here. Okay, churn rates, January 2021. January 1st, The Office became exclusive to Peacock. Everyone thought, everyone's going to leave Netflix because The Office is on Peacock, because the number one show on Netflix for like the last 4 years has been The Office. Sad to say, although 7.5% increase in Peacock signups, almost the exact same change in plus minus for Netflix. What that means is all the people you see posting on social media, if The Office leaves Netflix, I'm leaving Netflix. Way more people talking about it than being about it. Now, on January 2nd, I did sign up for Peacock because I wanted to keep The Office. I also kept Netflix because I wanted to keep seeing The Office on Peacock. I also wanted to keep all the kids stuff on Netflix. And for those that just listened earlier, Netflix does get a lot of exclusive rights to shows that are on smaller networks like USA. So, The Sinner is a USA original series. I never fucking heard about it on USA. But it surviving on USA led to me seeing it on Netflix. And a lot less people watch USA than Netflix. Give it The Sinner a chance. I'm not shitting you. It's really fucking good. The Sinner's really good. And Good Girls. Give it a shot. It has to build a little bit, though. But if you're curious about seeing a really hot bitch, Christina Hendricks, become the Tony Soprano of Southwest Detroit, that's your show. That's what the only way. I think that's a great analogy for it. Except she doesn't start out as the boss. That is a big difference. She starts out as a nobody. But at the start of The Sopranos, Tony Baloney is already the main protagonist for a reason. But anyway, Peacock's a good streaming service. They got a lot of good 90s shows. Also, another show me and my pops watch, Yellowstone. Although that's probably going to change, because I did see there's the Paramount Plus network coming out. Yeah, Christine Hanks is just crazy. Crazy good looking. Next. Something that I didn't think would ever happen. You know, baseball cards are they're dead essentially. To me, they're dead. I don't know anyone that collects baseball cards or anything like that. But if you're looking for a new thing to collect in the world, Top Shot, NBA Top Shots, new cards. They're not cards. They're gifts that you actually get like partial rights to. So like if you're texting someone and you go into your like gift keyboard and you send someone some cool gifts, everyone loves them. Well, the NBA has some badass, 10 frame clips of like a Zion Williamson dunk. You own the rights to share that and send it to people in text messages and stuff like that. And there's a little owned by tab that shows your name and like these weird little stats and figures on it. I don't plan on buying them because there's some fucking expensive ones on there. Like I saw a Zion Williamson one actually purchased, I think, for $25,000. No GIF is worth that. I'm not paying that money for a rookie Lear, Barry Bonds, Pete Rose card. I'm damn not sure paying that for a GIF that someone can screen record and reshape to fit, and then they have the access to something that I paid all that money for. I did find out in my ways to try to make money, I got duped. I won an auction on a Pokemon card that I have since found out is a fake. Not happy about that. A little devastated when I found that out. Showed it to my friend Albert, who is a huge Jags fan, but also like not a Pokemon gym, but kind of one of the top Pokemon guys in the area, actually, in the Sarasota, Bradenton area. He informed me that my card was a fake this morning. That wasn't the best way to wake up this morning. Anyway, I'm going to take a piss break. I'll play another Monster Cat song, I think. No, you know what? I'm going to play Jack's song. There's another few Jack songs coming. I got 5 coming that are going to be uploaded. I'm going to put them on Spotify, give them a listen when they come out. But this is a Jackson song. My sweet baby boy's sleeping right now. Hopefully, his clogged tear duct heals up real quick. All right. That was my son's song that I had made when I found out the missus was pregnant. I bought that song. Well, I met a guy on Fiverr, which is, like a goods. For those who don't know, you can, anything on the planet, if you want it made, you can search for it on Fiverr, and you can have it made for you, and you can own all the rights to it and all the things like that. So you play a little bit more dollars, but it's pretty sweet. So that song, his name I think was Canadian Music Man. I contacted him. He wanted some reference songs, so I sent him like 6 or 7 songs that I liked in a certain genre, and how I kind of wanted it laid out. Roughly when to peak, a kind of a bass drop, and then he comes up with something. And if you don't, he'll send it to you in a couple weeks. And if you like it, you're good. If you don't, he works on it again for you. Overall, I liked his quite a bit. So there was minimal changes actually to make on his very first send to me. All right, next story. Damn cropping. 1 second here. Texas school scraps chivalry assignment that had girls obey any reasonable request of a male. This is a no bullshit welcome to Texas, you backwoods hillbilly motherfuckers. Chivalry class. Women were to be seen and not heard unless spoken to and directly questioned, proposition sort of thing. Hear ye, ladies. The ladies will demonstrate to the school how the code of chivalry and standards set in the medieval concept of courtly love carries over to the modern day. Women to dress in a feminine manner to please the men, and to address all men respectfully by title with a lowered head and curtsy. Instructed them to never criticize a male, initiate a conversation, or whine, and directed them to walk behind men or walk daintily as if their feet were bound. They were told to look clean and obey any reasonable request of a male. If not sure if it is considered reasonable, the ladies can check with their teachers. It is 2021. How is this an assignment? If my daughter came home from school and this is the assignment, I would probably cuss somebody out. That is a bullshit assignment. Not that chivalry is dead, but the expectations of a woman to be a obedient female towards a man. It's fucking ridiculous. One of the best things I ever did, I think, in my life was get with a very strong woman who didn't need me, but was with me because she wanted to be. And that's Nicole. When I met Nicole, she was out on her own, making a ton of money, driving an Audi, had a fucking giant apartment in a very exclusive part of North Sarasota, way out of my league. I wooed her with my charms as a broke dick guy in the middle of a custody battle. And she ended up with me because she wanted to be, not because she needed anything from me, not because she wanted anything other than this D. No, but really, she had no wants of a man. She wasn't about even dating, really. But she did say there was something about the Midwestern niceness that I possess, which after now 11 years in Florida, I realize is very much lacking in Florida. Midwestern niceness is a thing. If you're curious about how nice we are, check them out on Instagram, whether it's the You Betcha channel or the Manitowoc Minute, Charlie Blevins. Those are some guys that just let you know a little bit what it's like to grow up in the Midwest. Wisconsin especially, if you're watching Charlie Blevins, because he's got the Manitowoc Minute. And it's very much, don't you know, tell your folks I says hi. We are a gentle people. We like our booze, but we're gentle people. Fuck that female chivalry assignment. That's it, Dad. We got the biggin. Hold on here. I know, if anyone has watched it, I have not seen this movie, but I heard it was quite intriguing. Promising young woman. Bo Burnham's and Allison Brie, who is not Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, who I had a huge crush on when she was in 21 Jump Street remake. I didn't realize she ended up marrying her co-star, not James Franco, little brother, who I like more than James Franco, and I just don't know his name. But it just came out just recently on to stream because it's still like fucking $20 to watch. I don't even think you can rent it yet. That's just how exclusive it is right now. I know if you saw it on there, you can get it on YouTube. You can also get it on Vudu and Amazon because I looked it up. I just haven't watched it yet. And before I get to this last one, because it's a glowing thing on Florida, we are in such a crazy world. I listened to these odd people discussing something about meat eaters, and I got a sneeze coming. Veganism is racist. If that is not the most fucking weird shit you're going to hear of the day, it is a real thing that the whole idea of environmentalism reaching the forefront of our culture, they're saying it's only happening because white people want it to happen. So the whole idea of going vegan to save the environment and picking the recipes at the core is racist because white people want it, which is fucking ridiculous. If you want to be a vegan, be a vegan. Don't make it about race. I'm not going to be a vegan. And it's not because I hate the environment. It's because I love meat. I had Korean steak tacos for dinner. I had a hand-breaded chicken sandwich from Burger King for lunch, which it shows round, mound, or rebound. Very Charles Barkley-esque. If you haven't had the new hand-breaded chicken sandwich from Burger King, you should. It's fucking delicious. I was shocked. Side note on that, I also had the McDonald's new classic sandwich. So they're all trying to copy the Popeyes one. They're wrapping it in a foil paper bag. McDonald's, it's a shitty one. They should stick to the buttermilk chicken sandwich. That's delicious. The new crispy, it's not even crispy. It's just not crispy. But the Burger King one, although not a ton of flavor, it is super salty, super crunchy, and delicious pickles on a fresh bun. And if you're looking for a fresh bun, they also released the Sourdough King sandwich. And if you like sourdough bread, woo! The King makes himself a good fucking sourdough bread sandwich. It's turned into a very fast food friendly podcast there at the end, isn't it? Considering I talked about white privilege and veganism, but I only bring that up because I discovered this, another bastion of white privilege. Math is racist. And you want to know the weirdest thing about this? That's a white fucker right there talking about it. And I looked up 3 interviews on it, and not a single fucking black person, not a single Mexican, not a single Spanish, not a single Indian, not a single Native American said one fucking thing about it. 3 interviews I could find on this was all white people saying math is racist. And one of the dumbest ones I'd ever heard was this Karen-looking woman that said math is inherently racist because for you to propose that 2 plus 2 is 4 and only 4 makes it racist because of exclusivity. If you're saying it has to be 4, it's racist because why can't 2 plus 2 be 5? I said, God bless it, woman, because 2 plus 2 isn't 5. It was an incredibly frustrating listen. And if you listen to it here, don't waste your time because you're going to be dumber for hearing it. I only heard it because it actually just came through on my fucking YouTube feed, and I was so perplexed, I figured why not? Let's give it a listen. But it will not be happening again. All right, on to the highlight of Florida. All you gamers out there, wapow! Super Nintendo World. Orlando, baby. Sadly, you see right there, delayed until 2025. It was originally slated, I believe, for 2022, 2023. What is not to be excited about that? Except what I heard was that the one that's in Japan and already built, incredibly boring. The Mario Kart ride, super slow. Snail's pace. And any dad or anyone out there that played fucking Mario Kart, you're not about going slow. You're trying to rainbow road, cheat, win, go as fast, red shell, star, beat any fucker out there. To make a slow Mario Kart is blasphemy, to be honest with you. Complete and utter blasphemy. I am excited. I certainly hope that they have like a super augmented reality or virtual reality where I can go down a goddamn Mario tube. I want to go down a green tube. I want to kill a Goomba. There's a lot of badass stuff that I would like to do in Super Mario World in Orlando when it gets built. I want to throw a fireball. You guys let me know what Mario World you'd like to do. Because obviously if it's the Super Mario Nintendo World, if there's Nintendo stuff on there, there's bound to be maybe even some Star Fox, some Metroid. What else? Mario exclusives. I want to beat up Wario or shit on Luigi because he's not Mario. There's got to be a bunch of stuff. Besides that, I'm not sure what else we got. I think we're about covered with everything. You see my Bears jerseys, my Cubs jerseys. I got that Bryant jersey there. The blue jersey and white jersey are from my pops. Sadly, I think that Bryant jersey is the last year I can have it hung up because it looks like he won't be a Cub past this season. And actually, I think there's a good chance he's not a Cub by the end of the season. What are you guys looking forward to in the baseball season? I mean, they're in spring training now. Cubs are looking pretty good. I'm happy to see Jake Arrieta back because, boy, do I love that beard of his. It is just it's a fucking man beard there. Hell, you know, yeah, we did play Mario Kart. And I wonder, as a Mario exclusive, if there could be a Super Punch-Out area. Really bring back the olden days. All right. This went way longer than I really anticipated, but I had a good time, even though Lowell wasn't here, because Lowell likes to cut me short. All of these stories, this hour and 20 here, I had all of them except for the racist math and the GameStop talk prepared, but he didn't want to talk about it because he's too busy getting laid. Lowell, bros before hoes, buddy. Bros before hoes. This has been the On Call Podcast. I'll think of a new name. I don't know. One day, maybe. I'll get there. But until then, this has been the On Call Podcast. I'm the host. Have a great night. Who knows, maybe a good weekend. I don't know what my plans are. I think I have another podcast coming. But until then, I'll see you soon.
Thanks for listening to the On Call Podcast. Check us out on Twitter @OnCallPod. Interested in being a sponsor or want to be on the show? Drop us an email at oncallpod@gmail.com. For more info, go to oncallpod.com.